and of course, very vital to investigate and anticipate how digital technologies are changing the way people live and their implications at the urban scale. Just like we know, the MIT community is driven by a shared purpose to make a better world through education, research, and innovation, mostly well known for its technology-related programs and for being at the forefront of scientific research and discoveries. This is why Nigeria's leading real estate company, LandWey Investment, that places innovation and of course excellence at the core of its operations, will be hosting this laudable initiative. Now, when we take a critical look at numbers 9, 11, and 13 of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, that speaks to industry, innovation, and infrastructure, sustainable cities and communities, and of course, climate action, respectively, it will further explain why this occasion is important. Therefore, I celebrate the Lagos State government under the visionary leadership of our excellent governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, who is ably represented by Mrs. Sholakwe Hammond. I celebrate LandWey Investment under the impeccable leadership of Mr. Olawale Ayilara and the team from MIT Senseable Lab for this futuristic development and innovation. It is indeed a beautiful day and a good time to be alive. So again, welcome to the future. Let it come, let the applause come. Thank you very much, thank you. My name is Mojibade Shosoya, and I'm delighted to be your compere today. We've spent a lot of time here already, so we'll move on very quickly to a welcome address. Now, when we have people of your caliber in a room, well, this is a room now, in a space like this, it's only appropriate that we have an estimable person give us a welcome address. Please let's make welcome the Managing Director of LandWey Investment, Shola Bello, for a welcome address. A round of applause for her. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll stand on existing protocols. As she's introduced, my name is Shola Bello, MD, LandWey Investment Limited. Okay. So I would like to say again, thank you for joining us and honoring the invitation to join us today at the launch of the Lagos Senseable City Lab, which is an initiation of the MIT Senseable City Lab. And I'd like to start by saying that we are so thankful to the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, ably represented by Mrs. Sholakwe Hammond. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today marks the maiden edition of the Lagos State Future City Week, which is curated by LandWey Investment Limited and in partnership with Lagos State Government and the Lagos Office of the SDG and Investment. The Lagos Future City Week is a program, the first ever in Africa, that was curated by LandWey to introduce the idea of research and thinking about the future of our city, our great city, Lagos State. And we are so happy and we're appreciative that Lagos State has decided to partner with us on this journey. And and also through this journey of the Lagos Future City Week and the launch of the Lagos Senseable Lab, we would be working with MIT, represented by Mr. Carlos Ratti, who is the director and co-founder of the MIT Senseable City. So Lagos Future City Week is a gathering of thought leaders across various sectors, such as agriculture, housing, transportation, security, environment, and waste management, and other sectors that make up for the integral part of our community, Lagos at large. With this event, our goal at LandWey is to ensure that the futuristic options become widely accepted before they begin to materialize in Lagos. For instance, doesn't the idea of a self-driven car sound good to you? Wouldn't you love that Lagos has a better road network, lesser cars on the road, and electric cars that can charge itself? The ultimate goal is to build a global city that is technology and sustainably led. And that is the concept of Isimi Lagos. Isimi Lagos is the first ever wellness and tech-driven city. And this is why we've positioned the Lagos Senseable Lab within Isimi Lagos, because we want to build a city that is driven by technology and is sustainable. So the work that we would commence with, in partnership with MIT, would be to come up with research about things that we can do to improve our city with regards to sustainable living, in terms of transportation, energy, waste management, and everything that makes our city really sustainable. So as we go ahead, we would hear more about the plans that the MIT team have for the Lagos Senseable Lab, and we'll be able to share how everyone can collaborate with us on this journey. Like we said, the Lagos Future City Week is to bring thought leaders who have ideas on how we can improve our community, but using technology. So all that we're going to be doing within the Lagos Senseable Lab is to bring people together, researchers, a lot of professionals within the industry that will contribute towards bringing ideas to bear that would help our city be more sustainable and enjoyable for all of us to live in the future. So, okay, sorry. So LandWey, like I've said, LandWey is in support of these projects and working closely with the MIT team to ensure that we bring a lot of the ideas, like I said, through research to bear. And we're really excited about this launch, that this is the first ever Senseable Lab in Africa. And we're so glad that it is going to be here at Isimi, at the Isimi Tech Valley cluster. So we're very, very excited. You see how this city is. We're still, fresh air. Even at this time of the day, we're not in the heat. This is what we're looking for the future of Lagos, is that we can actually have a new connection to our nature. So we're not going to be indoors, sitting under the AC. We want to really connect back with the future. And what we have to do is to ensure that we preserve our community, preserve all of it, the things that make, the nature, still in its natural state. So we're so excited, and I will be taking passing this on to Mr. Kalorati to give us a presentation on Lagos Senseable Lab, and we'll hear more information as we go. And the event is not ending here. Like I said, it's the official kickoff of the Lagos Future City Week. We have other programs tomorrow and also on Saturday. So will you join us back at our office, LandWey headquarters, to continue the Lagos Future City Week. So thank you everyone once again for joining us. We really appreciate you taking the time out to come. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, and good morning, good afternoon, everybody. So great pleasure to be here with you. Can we see the slides? I just want to share with you today some of the work we're doing at Senseable City Lab, mostly in Boston, and then some of the ideas for what we will do here. I think this is coming, the slides are coming, we tested them before. But as it was just mentioned, very excited, first of all, to be here, and yes. I'll go back to. Could you go to the first slide? Just. Yes. Right. So here we are. Yes. I'll start by sharing with you, what we do at the lab. The lab is at MIT, primarily in the main campus in Cambridge, Massachusetts. We tested a clicker before, but doesn't seem to work. Maybe something got disconnected. Yeah, that's good. So, but first of all, why are we passionate about cities? Well, if you want to remember 4 numbers about cities, just remember the one you see there: 255, 75, and 80. Cities are only 2% of the surface of the planet, but are 55% of the population, 75% of energy consumption, 80% of CO2 emissions. So it can do something to make our cities a bit more sustainable well, that can be a big deal globally. And that is what we are passionate about. And today, in particular, we can look at interesting changes happening with technology. This is actually the logo of the lab, of our lab, of Senseable City Lab, but it's about the convergence of digital and physical. One way to say this is that the internet is becoming Internet of Things, is entering in cities, in physical space, and is producing a huge amount of data. And data can help us then to better understand cities, to change the way we can comprehend them, design them, and ultimately live within them. And that's really what we try to do at the lab. You see here we got many collaborations at the lab with cities around the world. We think in order to innovate, it's very important to collaborate. Very happy that Senseable Lagos Lab will be the first lab outside of MIT in Africa. We got a base in Amsterdam, in Stockholm, restarting a base in Singapore, but Lagos will be the first base in Africa. Thank you. And if you look at this, when you look at this picture, that's what it shows you. With data, we can look at the city in a way we couldn't just a few years ago. If you look at this, it's a city like a living organism. And again, it's through billions of data points we can collect in real time. In this case, in particular, it's the city of Lisbon in Europe. What you see there is data from, could you let me restart the video? Yeah, it's not very visible. You see, it's real-time data from all the mobility network. And again, this data can help us uncover dimensions of urban living we couldn't see just a few years ago. And I'll show you just one example using similar data. We had a paper a couple of years ago where we looked at New York and actually how, thanks to data, we can optimize many flows in the city of New York. And while here we are in the New York of Africa, so I think we can do a lot of similar research with all of you. That's actually a paper. It was published in Nature. Here's a little video about what we did there. So, as you saw there, through data, we can actually look at the city, understand the city in a better way, and that is a beginning in order to potentially change the mobility system in the city. But we're looking at this in clearly solutions in different places are different. The solutions in New York, the solutions in London or in Amsterdam are different. And so I want to tell you again about mobility, some of the work we're doing in Amsterdam. In this case, as you might know, Amsterdam is a very interesting city. When you look at the center of Amsterdam, there's not much asphalt, not many roads, but there's actually a lot of water. And so we just heard before about self-driving cars. Self-driving cars might change mobility in a few years. But in the case of Amsterdam, we started working with the city and think about what about using the waterways in order to allow people to move and connect in a different way. And so we started developing kind of self-driving boats. We call them rowboats. Little boats that could help you to move things around. Today, that's like a DHL boat in Amsterdam to move people around. But really also to become a platform to better understand the environment, to move things, but also to sense water quality, air quality, and so on. And if you look at these, they can become also a way to create like a temporary infrastructure. Think about a temporary bridge when you need it because of a special event or because of some kind of concert, which, by the way, is something nothing new. The city of Venice, I'm from Italy originally, the city of Venice has been doing this for a very long time. During a special day called the Festa del Redentore, we know all the gondolas come together and create a kind of temporary bridge. But today, again, sometimes technology is just a way to do what we've always done, or what we always wanted to do, but to do in a more seamless way. So I want to tell you briefly about what we've been doing with Amsterdam. These were the first little boats we developed, very small, with different type of propulsion. This is 1 to 4, so scale model. These were being tested in the canals in Amsterdam just 3 years ago. We worked on this for 5 years with the city. Now it's becoming a company. Again, the interesting thing that's happening, a lot of this here in Lagos, but also as part of Tech Valley, the idea of turning research into innovation and into companies. So this was, again, being tested. You see how flexible is the small boat. We told the mayor, you know, even if for whatever reason we don't go ahead with the project, we'll open a toy company, because everybody seems to love so much playing with these on the canals. But all of that, there's a lot of research behind it, looking at all of the flows in real time, what I was saying before, looking at all the data. You know, a computer, a robot drives by looking at the environment with something like this. It's LiDAR every second, 300,000 data points. So that's actually how artificial intelligence sees the city. And that is the input for the boats then to navigate autonomously without a driver. We had to do a lot of tests at MIT in order to teach the system. You know, with artificial intelligence, you use some training sets, and then the system learns and keeps on doing the same thing. So we tried many types of obstacles. Let's see, MIT swimming pool. You know, even special obstacles, move in and how the system will avoid. That's actually, you see all the data that's collected in real time. Some of the papers, you find them. If some of you, I know some of you, are more technical. If you're interested, you find everything on our website. And then here's actually where we got in 5 years with the Senseable Amsterdam Lab with a model of a navigating autonomous boat on the canals. That's a short video from a few weeks ago.
This is Lucy. Lucy is a rowboat, a fully autonomous, zero-emission boat that operates on urban waterways, and she can change the way cities work. As congestion and emissions continue to rise, while cities continue to grow, the existing infrastructure of many cities struggles to keep up. Rowboats offer a solution by moving road traffic to the water. By bringing passengers from A to B, or as an on-demand boat, taking you anywhere you want. And they can also help the city as a multi-purpose workboat. Take Crystal. She is equipped to collect household waste to free the streets from heavy garbage trucks. Rowboats are fully autonomous, so they navigate without a skipper and can operate 24/7. In order to sail by themselves, rowboats need to perceive their environment and recognize objects such as bridge pillars, floating objects, and of course other vessels. The primary source of information comes from a LiDAR sensor, but rowboats are also equipped with cameras, GPS, and a digital compass. Rowboat's onboard computer combines and processes all of the data and runs the rowboat software so it can successfully complete its mission plan. After 5 years of development, testing, and experimentation, we have now successfully enabled autonomy on the full-scale prototypes. Rowboat is ready for the next step. Join us and let's unlock the potential of urban waterways together.
Thank you. But as you see, this will not be possible without data. So data is what actually help us, as I said, to both understand the city, but also data allows new applications in the city to happen. And so two additional things I want to share with you. I'll be quick, we're running a bit late, but one is collecting new types of data in the city is very important. We've been working a lot in Cambridge, Massachusetts, where MIT is, with garbage trucks and using them as a platform to collect data. With that data, you see it here, you can actually get much better information about the environmental quality of a city, especially a very large metropolitan area. So we think it's something that this could be very interesting here as well, to get better knowledge about the environment, which is the first step in order then to protect and improve the living environment. Here again are some of the papers, and here's a little video about the project we call it City Scanner. And I'll finish with a final project where we looked at when you look at flows, you can look at many types of flows in the city, and certainly some important flows are related to waste. We usually don't think about waste. We look at products coming to our homes, but then when we start thinking about what happens, like that computer which is down there, today we know everything about that machine until when it gets to our homes. Also, there's information online about every chip, where it was produced, how it came together, how it arrived on our desk. But then, a few years from now, we stop using it. At some point, somebody will throw it away. And then we know very little about it. Sometimes, actually, a lot of waste ends up where it shouldn't. So I want to share with you what we started doing in the United States, which is to put little tags, intelligent, smart tags on waste, and follow waste. This is the first deployment we did. So this was in the city of Seattle. As you saw, we put this little tag. We had to design the tags like miniature smartphones, but those smartphones are able to follow every piece of trash. You saw anything from e-waste to a banana peel. And after tagging all of them, 3,000 objects, we started following them. The idea being that if we know better where things end up, we can then improve what you can call not the supply chain, but the removal chain. We can make sure that actually waste goes where it should go and not where it shouldn't, and we do more recycling and all of that. So look at what happened after we put all those tags with the participation of 500 volunteers in Seattle, and then we started following all those pieces of trash, 3,000, as they move through the environment. That's 3,000 pieces of trash the day of deployment. After a few days, you see some of the main landfills next to Seattle. But then actually a very big surprise, something we did not expect, how far stuff started to travel. Sometimes in crazy, unexpected ways. Look at the trace went all the way to Chicago and then changed its mind and went back to California. And still moving after 1 or 2 months. So anyway, I'll finish here with the projects from MIT that we've been doing in cities around the world, but we're very excited to work with all of you. Again, data is the starting point, so we look forward to really collecting a lot of data from the city, from the larger, the broader Lagos area, and analyzing it together with you, looking at different of the challenges that most big cities face, from traffic to waste to people coming together to urban integration and segregation. So we're really excited to do this. And this was mentioned before, this is the first Senseable Lab in Africa. So thanks a lot. Looking forward to continuing the conversation.
Thank you very much, Professor Kalurati. He is a professor at MIT, so we're delighted to have him here. And one thing I didn't mention earlier is that he's also the co-chair of the World Economic Forum's Global Future Council on Cities and Urbanization. He was also listed as a top 50 people who will change the world. So we're really delighted that you're here and that you chose Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria, to set up the Senseable Lab. So we're really excited. Thank you very much. Over the past 30 months, I think we have all realized that technology is indeed an enabler. Technology has changed the world. In 2020, we saw how technological development was accelerated, especially because of COVID, and all industries are now adopting technologies, especially and almost all industries that were hitherto, very cold to technology. Everyone has embraced technology because they have seen the effect that technology would have on anything, even communities as a whole. So we're also happy that Lagos State consistently, is at the forefront of adopting technological changes. And we're excited to have Mr. Governor here, who is ably represented by Mrs. LandWey Hammond. She will now deliver the keynote address with a theme, creating new urban towns through social and technological innovation. Please, let's make welcome with a very warm round of applause, Mrs. LandWey Hammond, who is ably representing Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu.
A round of applause for Mojibade, one of the finest in the business. The Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Commissioner for Housing, Lagos State, Honorable Moruf Akideru Fatai, Special Advisor on Works and Infrastructure, who's actually from Ekpe, so we brought her home today, Mrs. Aramide Adeyoye, the Special Advisor to the Governor on Innovation and Technology, who's really a co-owner of this process here today, Mr. Tubosun Alake. The chairperson, I always say chairperson when I see a woman, Mrs. Ronke Shokefo of LandWey. Thank you for having us here today. My brother, the CEO of LandWey, the amazing Mr. Wale Ayilara. You have no idea what mountains he's been moving over the last 3 weeks. Great to finally be here. The MD of LandWey, Ms. Shola Bello. Director, Yomi Awoboku. And to our guests, our visitors, and the reason why we're all excited here today, the MIT team, starting with the director and co-founder, MIT Senseable City Labs, Mr. Kalurati. Thank you for your amazing presentation. As I said to you, this is a land of 25 million people. We're always thinking about waste here in Lagos, so you found a home for some of these solutions that we're seeing. The team members from MIT, Senseable City Labs, Umberto Fugilando. Sorry if I messed up your name a little bit. You get a lot of chance, get a good chance to do a payback to all of us and the Nigerian names. To some of our other guests here, the MD of CCC Nigeria, Firaz Maluli. It was nice talking to you earlier. Other stakeholders and members of staff of LandWey Investment Limited and MIT Senseable City Lab, all our partners here today, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the Fourth Realm, the press, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to be here today to represent Mr. Governor. Really sad that he could not be here today. He's really sad. It's been an interesting day, and as you can see, we started late because he really did all he could to be here. But time and logistics and chance just didn't allow it to happen. But he sends his personal regards and, of course, looks forward to meeting the MIT team at some of the other events that will be occurring during the course of Future City Week. So it's my pleasure to be here to represent him and to speak on this issue that's really very close to my heart. So my name is Shalakwe Hammond. I run the Office of the SDGs and Investment. So you can see why this is exciting for me, the Sustainable Development Goals, and of course investment, which I think is what tends to follow research and the creation of innovative solutions, and is really what has propelled and brought us here to the beautiful city of Ekpe. For me personally, I used to travel on this road somewhere between 1 to 2 times every month for a period of about 3 years. And every time I got to that bridge, so I don't do well in cars, I get car sick, so I tend to sleep once you put me in a car. If it's a journey that's longer than 10 minutes, the only way to bear it is to sleep. But I always try to wake up when we were crossing the bridge into Ekpe, looking at the beautiful view that you saw. It was unlike anywhere else in Lagos. I mean, Lagos has so many beautiful parts, the beaches, the high-rises, the cultural centers, but for me, the view of Ekpe was epic, and I could see that it was the future. And I'm so glad to be here as you begin to make this place a future tourism destination for the world, not just Lagos. So that's on the personal note for me. Very delighted to be here and to celebrate with the LandWey team all the amazing things that they're doing. We've been informed this is your 21st estate in Lagos, or 21st estate in Lagos, and I think that's an amazing feat. We thank you for being a partner in development and for building beautiful locations. Very excited to see this green location, and for the initiative of this Sustainability Week. So thank you very much for all that you do. So I'm going to go now and read Mr. Governor's speech. Sorry, excuse me. It's not don't be afraid, it's not COVID. It's just a niggling cough that hasn't quite gone away. So I'm going to read Mr. Governor's speech. The cough was not part of that. So a very good morning to you all, and it's a great pleasure to be part of this historic occasion. First, let me welcome the team from the world-renowned University Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and all our visitors to Lagos, the center of excellence, one of the fastest growing megacities in the world, and the home of commerce, industry, finance, real estate, hospitality, the arts, entertainment, innovation, and digital technology in Africa. Yes, thank you. I think we deserve a round of applause for that. Lagos is a city that has more than 25 million people, so that's about 12% of the population of Nigeria, that live on less than 0.4% of its land mass. So that speaks to the statistics you were talking about earlier. And for many, Lagos is where, so we have about 25 million people, but many, many more rely on Lagos for work, for investment, for recreation. We can go so far as to say the future of Lagos is indeed the future of the world. So I think it's very poignant that the man who's one of the few people in the world who's seen as a change maker is right here making change where it should be made. Indeed, this assertion is borne out by estimates that Lagos is expected to become the world's largest city by the end of the century. I wholeheartedly commend the organizers of this event, LandWey, the board and the team, for attracting this remarkable partnership and for the spirit of excellence that they have also carried through in their activities across the state. I must also state my pleasure with the concept of a future week focused on sustainability. Building a sustainable and resilient Lagos that is a true megacity of the future is our aspiration. So there's a great amount of alignment there. And for us, we're all about partnerships. So it's exciting to be celebrating one today. And we do commit to being part of this partnership and supporting it all the way. The Senseable Lagos Lab launch is a very timely and exciting intervention. Last year at COP26, Lagos made a net zero declaration to be net zero on waste and emissions by 2050, 10 years ahead of the Nigerian commitment. We were also at COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh only about a month ago, where we presented the Lagos Climate Adaptation and Resilience Plan, which followed our climate adaptation plan that was presented last year and speaks not only to what is required to address climate risk and resilience for Lagos from a mitigation perspective, but also from the perspective of adaptation and resilience. We've identified many projects that will help us address this, including elements such as flood risk, green building, and some of the other challenges that we've seen showcased here today. And so it's exciting to see that we have a partnership with which we could work to develop solutions that will help us to address those challenges that have been highlighted. In the area of education, Lagos has also made significant investment. From a tertiary perspective, Lagos not only has the well-known Lagos State University, which has now made it in the last 2 years to the top 1,000 universities in the world, but have recently established 2 more universities. A University of Education to ensure that we're building the teachers that we require that have the quality and the capabilities to train our youths for the future, and also a University of Science and Technology that will be focused purely on churning out those graduates of the future that will be working in this domain of science and technology. So this is an apt time to have this partnership where you will have not just one, but several universities to partner with across the state. Also within this administration, we've made a commitment and supported the activities of the Lagos Science, Research and Innovation Council, largely anchored by the special advisor over there, which has seen excuse me, the provision of grants to more than 100 small businesses, research fellows, and people working in science, STEM education over the last 3 years. Indeed, we just had, we held the now highly renowned Art of Technology event, the 4th edition, again anchored by the special advisor who's sitting over there, where we talked about many other solutions and looked at many of the areas that are of interest and will be looked at and discussed during the Future Week that is holding starting today. We know that we in Lagos have embraced technology as the path to addressing our problems. And we have seen the growth, and supported the growth of the technology ecosystem in Lagos. We've seen Lagos move from being a nascent technology zone in 2016 to now the #1 technology ecosystem in Africa, attracting more than 30% of the total investments on the continent. It has also been ranked recently as the 2nd fastest growing global technology ecosystem. Number 21, so 2nd in Africa, number 21 in the world. Thank you, yes. We have been supporting this with our actions that include investing in the ecosystem, investing in the people, and investing in the infrastructure that is required. Lagos has invested to establish a 6,000 kilometer fiber optic network, of which 3,000 plus has been completed. And we've also seen the incursion of many data centers, some in partnership and some established by us in the city. We're in conversations now with a lot of these partners to see how we can scale Lagos to 600 gigawatts of computing power here in Lagos, in a zone not very far off from here. So this location seems to be quite the nexus. It's also very close to our Lekki Free Zone, which is 16,000 hectares dedicated to enterprise, and which we see as the anchor to the future of Lagos, the growth of Lagos from an industrial capacity. We also have the airport, the upcoming airport, also very closely located here. And so this is the nexus of the new Lagos. And we're very excited to have MIT Senseable Lab in our midst, working with us to ensure that we build it in a way that is sustainable and resilient for the future. Ladies and gentlemen, here lies one of the greatest cities with its own fair share of socioeconomic challenges, but more than its own share of innovators who have preferred great solutions to some of its challenges. We have an opportunity before us today to be part of history, and we're very excited to join you in this mission to make our city more diverse and more inclusive. We're confident that this partnership will give rise to innovations and breakthroughs that will propel not just Lagos and Africa, to the forefront of the global technology movement. Once again, I applaud the outstanding work done by LandWey. I thank MIT Senseable City Lab for its partnership, and we look very much forward to joining you to make history. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Please let's applaud Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, who was ably represented by Mrs. Sholakwe Hammond. Thank you very much for delivering that fantastic address, again, for reiterating Lagos State's commitments to ensuring that we grow to the dream that we actually aspire to, which is making Lagos State a 21st century on all grounds. So thank you again for being here. We understand it's busy season for Mr. Governor, but regardless, he's well represented and you did an excellent job. Please, another round of applause for her. Thank you. We're gradually wrapping this up and we'll take a closing remark. But right after the closing remarks, we will proceed for the groundbreaking ceremony. I would lead that and ask our dignitaries right here in front to join the groundbreaking. But for the closing remarks today, please let's make a welcome a very distinguished personality, the Chairman Board of Directors at LandWey Investment Limited. Please let's make welcome Mrs. Ronke Shukefun. A round of applause for her. Thank you very much.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, everyone. I don't know why Wale is seated and why he sent me to come and do this, but it's okay. I will give it my best shot. First, let me thank you all that despite the humid weather, you're all looking good and seated comfortably. To His Excellency, Mr. Governor, would like to first thank him for the amazing representation from Lagos State. I've had chats with a couple of them. First and foremost, let me thank Mrs. Hammond for delivering such I'm not certain the governor would have done a better job. Seriously, thank you so much. It was so good hearing from you. HC Housing, thank you very much. SA Works and Infrastructure, thank you for your presence. And of course to the SA Innovation and Technology, we thank you for your presence. To Carlo, thank you so much. You only came in yesterday, and when I spoke to you earlier, you said you had to leave tonight. That must be very hectic, but we're absolutely amazed at this opportunity to partner with MIT Senseable Lab City. When Wale brought it up, I'm old school. I'm a baby boomer. So I'm neither millennial, nor Gen Z, nor Alpha. So I had to reach out to my Gen Z son. And what he pulled up was amazing. In no time, I was getting, they're here in Singapore, they're here in, so I was like, yeah, school fees are working. So he put me up to speed. This is amazing. We really appreciate it, the partnership. LandWey does amazing things. I was sharing with my sister, the SA Works on Infrastructure just before the session started, how I met Wale, how he spoke to me, and the amazing things that the company is doing. This is definitely a step in the right direction. I almost wear two hats here. I saw in one of the programs that Oando Clean Energy also has a part to play in this. I sit on the board of Oando PLC as well as a non-executive director. It's been an amazing day. It's getting hot now. I don't want to keep everyone waiting. But to everyone here, especially the LandWey team, you guys are fantastic. Shola, well done for all you do. To the team in-house, we really thank you. I'm happy to see this grow in leaps and bounds. And to all our guests, and of course the press, this has received a lot of hype. We appreciate everything you're doing. And we hope it just doesn't stop at this formal ceremony. There's a bigger part, which is when this totally evolves. To our friends in-house, thank you very much. Good to see you all. Enjoy the rest of your week and happy holidays.
Please let's celebrate our not baby boomer Chairman Board of Directors, because if I look at her dressing, I would say she's Gen Z. Do you agree? So I don't know where the baby boomer is coming from, but thank you very much for the closing remarks. Again, we welcome you to the beginning of what promises to be really insightful and futuristic. That is the Lagos Future City Week. Thank you for joining us today. The conversations are not over. As a matter of fact, fact, we have only just started. So please make sure you join us, or I'm imploring you to please join us. Let's take the conversations further from here. However, we must do one critical thing today, which is the groundbreaking. And I would ask to please lead the procession, Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, who is ably represented by Mrs. Shalakwe Hammond. Thank you very much. A round of applause for her, please. She will lead the procession alongside every of our very distinguished personalities on the front row. Mr. Yomi Awobokun and his guests will also join the procession. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here. We hope that this has been worth your time. Have a lovely afternoon. Again, my name is Mojibade Shesanya, and it's my birthday. Thank you.
Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting
Nakasumbala jano de waste time ona. Me I will fire bazooka ona. Mr. Money no dey waste time, Mr. Money want to ease your mind. Say baby don't find no dey too shine, unaka. Show why me need. Mr. Money no dey waste time, Mr. Money want to ease your mind. Hello, you carry back a lot of filo. I'ma take a phone, no go dey ghost you. Ready to pay what 10 kilo. Kumatingaza, Shinasa inofalapa. Agata from Osapa Funibulala. Nishe lo japa. Omo ajebota ni di migapa. I no like nonsense we yakubota. Bota. Nishe lo japa. Omo ajebota ni di migapa. I no like nonsense we yakubota. Bota. Sunga la ja sunga la ja sunga olo sunga sunga la ja sunga olo sunga
Somebody with the vibe right now. Somebody with the vibe right now. Somebody with the vibe right now. Somebody with the vibe right now.
Kerosene no dey sleep, I no dey sleep at all. I'm a kumaro popo, cause I'm ready to spend. Ibakare kuma bum, make we man united. This your skin just a glow, baby, make we chillo. Hello, you carry back a lot of filo. I'ma take a phone, no go dey ghost you. Ready to pay what 10 kilo. Kumatingaza, Shinasa inofalapa. Agata from Osapa Funibulala. Nishe lo japa. Omo ajebota ni di migapa. I no like nonsense we yakubota. Bota. Nishe lo japa. Omo ajebota ni di migapa. I no like nonsense we yakubota. Bota. Sunga la ja sunga la ja sunga olo sunga la ja sunga olo sunga. Campaign Tropicana. Me I don't I dem take the marijuana. Joanna, Jubadi, Biomogana. Onjo Omlando for me, Moya Gbelos Goda. Nigga think I give up for. Me I done the streets when them sing on Guazo. Apala no be soca, see my team them no be feeder. Premier League is not UEFA, small body my engine bigger gun. Joa, when you show Tobawa, Oja Desita, and no she do Rela, Emi Godzilla, Maradona, Jolo Kuchela, ọgbọ́n, ìwọ ló gbọ́njú. Agbọ́gbọ́njú, ọgbọ́n, a máa mọ́ lọ́gbọ́gbọ́n, ó sì lọ́gbọ́njú. Fẹsẹ̀ wọn náà tún pọ̀lọpọ̀lọ, èèyàn kò gba gidi ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀. Ǹdàkúnjẹ ń sinmi ṣe mí jọ́lọ̀, èmi yàtọ̀ sáwọn nǹkan ká mi sọ́tọ̀. Ọjọ́bọ̀, ẹgbàá lọ́kọ̀ tó bá fọ́kọ̀. I want the money, consush. I no go let anyone control. Anything I want to, I go do. Bagosh, I want the money, consush. I no go let anyone control. Anything I want to, I go do. Organize. Every other day I organize. Some of us are wise. Every other person overwise. Olọ́gbọ́njú, ọgbọ́n, ìwọ ló gbọ́njú. Ọgbọ́n Sadiq. Agbọ́gbọ́njú, ọgbọ́n, a máa mọ́ lọ́gbọ́gbọ́n, ó sì lọ́gbọ́njú. Jiggy, no. Oh no. Ulama, I dey on my tento. I don't dare you tired. Make we dey like extra cool. Oh, and we go back to the time when this love is share better. You know I love you, but I'm always on the road. Can't lie, you put me in the mood, and I know you want that too. And I carry shoulder.
We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started. Welcome. You have arrived at your destination. This is the Lagos Future City Week. We are just getting started.